CIPPON. Brief history of CIPPON, Chartered Institute of Professional Printers of Nigeria. 2011, the first election. The first election to the Council of the Institute CIPPON took place in January 2011 at Elumas Hotel, Maryland, Ikeja, Lagos. However, due to the economic situation of Nigeria, coupled with printers in Nigeria depending on importation of printing materials with capital flight of printing jobs to foreign countries, all this contributed largely to the inability of individual and corporate printers to embrace membership of the Institute CIPPON. Therefore, these situations contributed to inability of the Institute CIPPON to organize annual general meeting and conduct election to the Council of CIPPON. Activities under the first elected council members. The first elected executive officers of the Institute CIPPON, in their regulatory activities, paid a courtesy visit to the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Education, Abuja, Professor Nicholas A. Demashi. The Institute had a bilateral discussion with the Permanent Secretary and Director of Ministry. The attention of Professor N.A. Demashi was drawn to the opportunities that can be harnessed through the purposeful relationship between the Institute and the Ministry of Education, particularly on printing of educational books here in Nigeria. The Institute used the occasion to showcase samples of some printed books produced here in Nigeria by CIPPON licensed printing houses to the Permanent Secretary, Professor Nicholas A. Demashi, as evidence of capability to print textbooks here in Nigeria. The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, Professor Nicholas A. Demashi, welcomed the President of the Institute, Mr. W. Aderemi Mohammed Lawal, and his entourage, and commended their struggle to promote local print products. CIPPON Physical Enforcement. A physical enforcement by CIPPON Task Force was carried out on Wednesday, September 14, 2011, in which some presses were sealed. The exercise was supervised by the President and Registrar and Secretary of the Institute with law enforcement agents from Lagos State Police Command, Ikeja, Lagos. (2012) Meeting with Honorable Labaran Maku. The executive officers of the Institute paid a courtesy visit to the then new Minister of Information, Honorable Labaran Maku, who took over from Professor Dora Nkem Akunyili. The institute welcomed the new minister to the ministry, and as a supervising minister to the institute, they discussed the challenges in the printing industry which has negative effect on nation's economy. This led to the institute proposal to the minister to organize a lecture marking Nigerian 52nd independent anniversary under the theme Transformation Agenda. Discussion under the theme are fighting against corruption and generating employment through printing. The Institute CIPPON appealed to the Honorable Minister of Information to allow its ministry to collaborate with the Institute CIPPON on the proposed event, and the Honorable Minister agreed. Nigerian 52nd Independent Anniversary Lecture by CIPPON in collaboration with Ministry of Information. For effective treatment of the topics Transformation Agenda, the Institute invited heads of the corporate bodies of EFCC and ICPC. The two bodies were ably represented by Mr. Osita Unwaja, represented Mr. Ibrahim Lamo, the former EFCC boss, and Mr. Shintema Binta, represented Mr. Ekbo Unta, former ICPC boss. The then Honorable Minister of Information, Labaran Mako, was represented by Mr. Olufela Oshunbiyi. The then Minister of State in the Ministry of Trade and Investment, Mr. Sam Otom, was represented by Mr. Stephen Amashe. The then Lagos State Governor, Raji Fashola San, was represented by the Permanent Secretary, State Ministry of Information, Mrs. Oluranti Odutola. The event took place at Sheraton Lagos Hotel and Towers, Ikeja, on Monday, October 15, 2012. Visitation to ICPC office, Abuja. On Wednesday, 12 December 2012, the President, Chairman in Council of CIPPON, Mr. Wahab Aderemi Mohammed Lawal, led executive officers of the Institute to ICPC office in Abuja. The Institute thanked the ICPC Chairman for honoring the Institute invitation to its 52nd Nigerian Independent Anniversary Lecture. In his response, Barrister Ekbo Unta appreciated the visit and expressed his joy over the development in the printing industry, that is, the establishment of regulatory body, which he said was long overdue, going by the important role the printing industry plays in the nation's economy and security. Visitation to the Ministry of Trade and Investment, Abuja. The president and executive officers of CIPPON visited the State Minister of Trade and Investment, Honorable Sam Otom of the Federal Ministry of Trade and Investment. The visit was as follows up to the relationship built during the minister's visit to Propac West Africa 2012 at Conventional Center Eco Hotel and Suites, Lagos, where the institute participated as a mandatory endorser of printing and packaging exhibitions in Nigeria. The Honorable Minister appreciated the good works done in getting the acts in place for the regulation of the printing profession in Nigeria. The minister said that this is one of the best things to have happened to the printing industry. CIPPON presented honorary and substantive awards of Fellow of the Institute to some print stakeholders. In appreciation to some people's selfless support and also to involve some notable stakeholders in the responsibility of stabilizing the Institute CIPPON in order to be able to face the challenges of regulating and repositioning the profession that has been badly bastardized, the award of fellow were given to over 30 stakeholders, both female and male.